All right, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? I know Wayne's here, but stay there. You're good. You got a drink. I just want you to know that I had a personal problem this afternoon. I had to go on that Verify app and take a perfect picture. It was very difficult, but we got it done. I took 30 seconds. My wife took 20 minutes. That was a lot of fun. Anybody ever do that yet? Oh, yeah, the fun's really coming. You bet. So welcome everybody here. This has been a long time in waiting. And again, thanks to Heart of the Valley for... It's a rock and roll mic. Come on up here.
Cut you off.
Yeah, come on up.
With a hook.
You drive me. It's fun. Again, we want to thank Mandy and Chris and all the staff at Heart of the Valley for keeping the thing going. This will be a blast. Like Cabo, which had hundreds of people, I want to meet every one of you, talk to you, have some fun, share a drink, and that'll be a blast. The whole band's coming. It'll be a great time. Here's Wayne.
Hello. I'm just going to say a few things quick. This is probably what, our 14th trip together? It's been a lot of years. This young lady and her staff, they're great. They're going to take good care of you. They really are. And I'll tell you what, we've been through it. Long ago, we had a few other agents, and they didn't get up in the middle of the night and put brochures on their tables and stay out at a booth all day and make sure you were taken care of.
With a smile.
So, yeah, with a smile. These guys rock. Anyway, here's the deal. I'm only going there for one reason. I want to see a big grizzly bear. Big teeth. Yeah. So if any of you see a grizzly bear there, let me know. Because that's the reason I'm going.
Are they big brown bears?
Big brown bears.
Alive
From
or
the Big
stuffed?
Brown Bear Club.
Alive or stuffed?
You know.
It's an inside joke. Anyway, thank you for coming out today. This is awesome. These girls are going to take good care of you. My wife and I look forward to meeting every one of you guys when we go on this trip. Every time we go on a trip, we went to Italy 2 years ago, Ireland, everybody comes home and it's like a big family. So we look forward to having it happen, okay? We're on.
Okay guys, happy Sunday. I'm sure you're sick of me by now. Thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate the fact that you all came today. I know that you probably have a lot of questions, so I'm going to whiz through my presentation. Hopefully some of your questions will get answered during that, but then we'll follow up with a Q&A. And then after that, anybody that wants to stick around to get some extra help with those apps or any tech help, we will open up for help with that as well. So let's get started. Let's see if I can make this work right. Oops, and now it's going to grass. Sorry guys. So as we get started, we need to pack our bags. Ooh, I don't know if you guys have started yet, but I do have a whole bedroom dedicated to packing, so the process has begun. I have some great news. If you did listen to some of the newsletters, originally the motor coach company had advised us that your bag couldn't weigh more than 44 pounds. It now has been changed. So 50 pounds is the weight. So and that's for your bag that will go under the belly of the bus, so as well as on the airplane. So 50 pounds for that. You may want to do a little less, maybe 48 pounds, so you can put some souvenirs in there. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that the carry-on bag that you will have with you on the bus has to be soft sided, so like a duffel bag or a backpack, something of that nature, because that'll be with us on the bus. I'm listing the TSA.gov site because it has loads of information for those questions of what can I pack, what can I not pack. It's filled, chock full of information, and I'll be emailing this presentation to you guys as well as a video. I wanted to remind everybody that the liquids rule for your carry-on is still in place, so if you haven't traveled in a while, you do still get one clear Ziploc bag, and then the liquid inside that you, any little bottles or whatever, can't exceed the 3.4 ounces. Medications, so we're getting older, or at least I am. You might have some medication that you need to take along. Make sure you put it in your carry-on, do not put it in your checked bag. So carry it with you. It's very important. And then as far as just general packing during the day, it'll probably be mid-60s, and in the mornings and evenings it might be in the 40s, so it'll be cooler. So dress in layers so that you can maybe peel off as it gets warmer throughout the day. My intent is still to put together a packing video, so you'll see me packing, and the process of that. So that will be coming in the next week or so, newsletter. By the way, we only have 4 left, so we're almost done. This has been a big question. On the cruise, what do we wear at night? Well, honestly, if you're a casual person and you don't ever want to get dressed up, you don't have to. So you can wear jeans every night. They will have a casual dining room that you'll have that option. However, there's going to be 2 gala nights during our cruise. And those evenings they ask that you wear just not jeans. So a pair of slacks and a dress shirt. For women, you can wear dresses, skirts, or even a slack suit or something. But again, you don't have to go to those evenings. You can do the casual dining if you choose. Or you can get dressed to the nines if you want to pack your tuxedo and your glittery dress. Go for it. There's a lot of us on this trip celebrating things. There's birthdays, there's anniversaries, there's retirements, there's all sorts of celebrating going on this trip. So you might want to get really dressed up one night for that special occasion. Okay, so now we're packed. Now we're gonna, for those of you that are doing the group air with us and taking the bus down to Chicago, we're going to be taking Lamer's bus line. So that's the bus company we're gonna use this time around. You'll have in your packets your pickup point. So it'll list the details if you're leaving from Appleton. The other spot is in Fond du Lac, and the final spot is the Allenton program ride. Those of you leaving from Fond du Lac, I have given the hotel all of the details on vehicle information. However, they also would like you to drop off. There's like a little form where you fill out, if you've traveled with me before, you've done it, but it's a little form you fill out and then go bring it into the front desk so they know that your vehicle's out there. So just FYI on that. So your pickup points have been planned perfectly. And so we can't change them anymore. So whatever your paper says, that's where we'll pick you up. The tip for the driver has been paid for with Lamer's Bus Line, so no worries about that. And when we get to Chicago, typically the driver will get out and start unloading bags, but you can grab your bag and we'll be checking in. All of us, whether you're traveling on the Fairbanks flight or the Anchorage flight, are flying Alaska Airlines. So we'll go in the airport. We can't check in online ahead of time, which is kind of a blessing. We'll just do old-fashioned, go up to the counter and check in with the agent. So that'll be the process there. After you get checked in, you can proceed right to the gate. Don't wait for us because we'll be waiting to make sure everybody gets checked in. All right, moving right along, guys. And we fly. So your flight itineraries are also, if you took the group air, in your packet. It lists the confirmation number, your ticket numbers, all of those details are listed there. Make sure you review them carefully because there has been some schedule changes. One of them has been really great, and it's on the return flight. Some of you originally were coming through Toronto, and you had sort of an awful arrival time back home. If you take a look at it now, you're on a non-stop flight back into Chicago, and you're going to be getting home around the same flight time as the rest of us. So there's, so hopefully that makes it better. Those of you that are flying in on your own into Fairbanks, Pikes Waterfront Lodge does have an airport shuttle, so you can give them a call and they'll come pick you up. Those of you coming into Anchorage early, they do not have a hotel shuttle, so you'll have to call a taxi or get a taxi or possibly an Uber to the Hilton. Okay, so we're on buses. We're on a lot of buses. we can't make this boring. We gotta have fun. So we're all animals. So you have a host, I'm gonna call us, on each of these buses. And the land portion, we have 3 buses. Wayne has agreed to be in charge of the bear bus. I'm in charge of the eagle bus. And then Mandy is gonna do the moose bus. And the 3 of us are all gonna be with you from Fairbanks to Anchorage, so that entire land portion, you'll be traveling with us. But we were hoping that this would make it easier as you're trying to get acquainted with each other, and you can just say, I need to be on the bear bus, or the eagle bus. And then those of you that are coming in for the cruise only, Anne will be flying with you from my office, which I'd love to introduce these ladies. My team in the back here, Mandy McKenna, will be coming along for the whole trip. And then Anne Newhouse will be flying out with the group that's doing the cruise only. And she'll be in Anchorage with us for the little party, and then getting everybody boarded onto her whale bus as we go to Whittier. So then she'll head home. And so we've got the whale bus there coming on the back end. So we've got all our Alaskan animals covered, I think, right? So the land package, just a couple general items to cover. Typically on a bus type tour situation, you tip your tour travel director and your motor coach driver. This was not included in your travel package, so I have suggested tips. I'm going to be honest, what I typically do, will have an envelope with that money so that at the end, when we're done with our 5 or 6 days with them, I'll obviously have it all set to go and hand it to them. I will oftentimes also do a little thank you card and try to, write a cute note about some memory that I have with them, and they appreciate them greatly. So anyway, so the suggested tips are there. And then we do, Heart of the Valley Travel does a daily newsletter, and that'll be happening throughout the whole trip. So you'll be getting a daily newsletter with tidbits, information on our travels, as well as some fun things. So you don't want to miss it. So if for some reason you're not getting it or you didn't get it, just find one of us and we'll get a copy for you, because we'll have extras. Okay, I didn't want to talk about this, but I just thought I'd briefly go over this. Many of you signed up for the COVID testing with us. Basically, you're going to know what time your test is taking place and where it's taking place at the Hilton in Anchorage during the trip, so don't worry. We tentatively have from 8 until 10:30 in the morning in Anchorage to do it, and so during that time, the buses will be staggered as we do them. So you'll be advised as to what your time is. Mandy and I will be in the lobby, the business center, or the testing area all morning. So we'll be there to help with anything. Whatever happens, happens. But we do need to get some of this Verify and ArriveCan and some of that stuff taken care of. So we're gonna be there to help you with that. So don't feel, it's overwhelming at times, but don't feel too overwhelmed, because know that you have us to help you. You might have to be patient, as there's a lot of us, but hopefully we'll help each other as well and get through it. But we'll be around from 8 to noon on that Saturday to help with anything that happens. And then we're going to take a little break, and Anne will be coming in a little bit later that day as well. So. And then that night, we have the show. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that it's actually in Alaska. That's what I'm most excited about. It's a surprise location because this show is just for you guys. It's a private event, so it's only for you guys. That Saturday that we're doing that testing thing in the morning, and Mandy and I are going to be roaming around the hotel, find us, because we will have your envelope with your drink tickets, a wristband, and the event details. So you will want to get that from us that morning. So if you're out and about, roaming around, just take a moment to grab us so you can get your envelope for the show information. You will have to have a wristband to get in, It's only for that one day we have to do this wristband thing, then you can cut it right off. But that will help for us at the event to know who's part of our group. So they will have motor coach transportation to get everybody there, and there'll be a schedule to get people home later. That'll be part of your event details, but it is within walking distance as well, so it's not too far from downtown. Okay, so we did the land, we did this little testing thing. We had a great time at the show. Now we're gonna go cruise. So we're on the Holland American Nornam. If you've not done so, you can check in for your cruise now. So I would highly recommend that you do it right away. In fact, I put on the slide that I'd like to have everybody checked in by August 3rd. The reason being is that anybody that has transportation from the cruise ship to Vancouver Airport, you have to be checked in with your flight details to get the transfers. So,
Where do we do check-in, Christine?
where do we do check-in? Well, check-in, you have to do it on your computer. Yes, on your computer online. Sorry. If you need help, if you get stuck, you're on your computer at home and you're just struggling, call us and we'll help walk through best we can. But we also have a phone number for Holland America to help. They also said that they will do online check-in over the phone for you. So if you're really struggling and just don't want to deal with a computer, you can call them as well. So that's an option as well. But we do have to get that done for those transfers.
Can you check in on your phone?
You can check in on your phone on Safari or whatever, or on Google, but not on the Navigator app. So, and then I have a little list of things that you'll need to board the ship. Your valid passport, your proof of your COVID-19 vaccination, so your card or your Department of Health form. You want to have that along. My eyes are getting bad, so let me look. Negative pre-cruise COVID test. There's a travel health questionnaire that Holland America does have. That you have to have done as well, and that you can do on your Navigator app. So that'll be something we can do on the Navigator app. It also is tied to the Verify, so.
When's the earliest you can do that?
So the check-in for Holland, the check-in for Holland America you can do now. The travel health questionnaire you can't do until 72 to 24 hours prior. And then the Verify, I know I kind of talked about it in the newsletter. We can finish uploading some of our information July 29th, and then we can do our negative COVID test, upload that when we're right before we travel, so on the cruise. And we'll get more, for those that have specific questions on that app or questions afterwards, I'll kind of address those. So if you could save them till after, I appreciate it. The Arrive Can is the Canadian, what Canada's requiring us to do, and so that's another app. Just a quick touch on this, which I wasn't going to, but the Verify app and the Arrive Can app, you can have one of you with a phone, and you both can be on that one app. The Holland American Navigator app requires, if you each want it, to have it for check-in and for daily schedules and so on and so forth, you each have to have your own email to be able to have that app. You can't have one email and have the app on both your phones. So just so that makes sense. And then when you check in, like I did my check-in this weekend, well, I have a lot of highlights, but there's, you'll get this page, and I printed mine. It'll be on the app, but I did print mine, and this is my boarding pass to get on the cruise ship. And so it basically walks through the cruise. So if you go check in online, you're gonna get one of these already. And then your bag tag. So you also will be able to print your bag tag, which you all have these little plastic little things. So you can print your bag tag information and slip that in there. And then this, I'm gonna tell you not to just keep it in your envelope of stuff. And you're gonna wanna put this on the morning that we go to the ship. So just wait and don't put it on until the morning we go to the ship because you don't wanna lose it. And then the optional one is that Verify, like I was just chatting about. That's, you don't have to have this app, but it will expedite check-in. There'll be a Verify app check-in line, and it'll go faster. Okay, so the cruise, just a couple of things. We are going to use the Crow's Nest, which is the on the observation deck on deck 10, as sort of our hub for all of us. So if you're on a cruise, maybe we're cruising one of the glacier areas and you want to go have a drink or something and see if anybody from our group is hanging out, we're going to use the Crow's Nest as the place to go hang out. And then for dinner, I scheduled everybody for open dining, and that runs from 5:15 to 9 p.m. What that means is you can eat dinner with whomever you want, and any time during that particular time frame. We thought we would allow for more flexibility with people's schedules, and quite frankly, if you meet somebody and want to have dinner with them that night, you can do so. Okay, so we're done with the cruise, and now we're going to quick zip over to here. Wow, so it's over already. Holland America is going to let us know how the disembarkation works during the cruise, so you'll get information on that while we're on the cruise. And everyone will be disembarking the ship on their own. We won't have any sort of a special group departure, so we'll all get off, we'll all get our bags, clear customs, and then get on the Holland America transfer buses for those of you that signed up for that. And then I think most all of you did. And then again, your flight itinerary is in your packet, so you can refer to that for check-in. Christine, myself, I'm on American Airlines, so anybody flying home on American, you'll be with me. And then anybody flying on United will be with Mandy. And then we're back to the bus. So Lamers Bus Line is going to pick us up. Make sure you're on the correct bus in Chicago. The buses will be marked. There will be 2 buses for the American flight and 2 buses for the United flight. One will be Appleton and one will be Fond du Lac/Allenton. So make sure you get on the right bus. And for those of you that are getting dropped off in Allenton, make sure you're the last one on the bus, or at least that your bag is the last one on the bus, because you'll be the first one dropped off. So I appreciate it. And that's my presentation. Thank you guys, thanks for listening. So now I open it up for questions.
Can you have, I know you said this before, but I'm not sure I get it. One of those 3 apps, can it be on one phone and you put your spouse on it too? Or does he have to have his own app to download his stuff?
So the Verify app, you can have just on one phone.
Chris, can you repeat your question?
Oh, sorry. So she had asked for the apps, can we just have all 3 apps on one phone? Hypothetically, yes, you don't even have to have any of these apps, you guys. If you're just not tech savvy and you don't want this app thing is too much, you don't have to have any of the apps. We will be in Alaska helping people who need, because the arrive can has to be done, whether it's on an app or on a computer. So Mandy and I are going to help anybody that just, it's too much, we'll do it on the computer at the hotel. So we'll have that opportunity to do it there. But so yes, hypothetically, but really the Navigator app is the only one that if you both want access to check in and everything, then you both need it. And that's where you each need your own email.
So, but technically you both can check in instead of looking up with it.
Correct. You don't actually have to have it on both your phones. If you're traveling together with a travel companion, once you have it loaded, it will show both names, or you can access both names. But if you want to have your own account on a different phone, then you need another email address. Yeah. So you can put it on one.
the music is gonna start around 7.
Not Mike's time?
That's good for the old people that go to bed at 9.
Yeah. Can you, yeah.
Say I'm flying in and in the afternoon on my own, and you wait for it, and in the morning is when you're giving out the envelopes with the wristbands. Can someone pick mine up for me? Because I won't get there until like 4 or 5 p.m. Or am I supposed to like?
Very good question. I would say yes, you can have someone in our group you're saying can pick it up, yes. But we should write that down because, you know, these are things that would have come up a little later. We may have another option for you for pickup, so as far as meeting one of us. So for now, yes, have your family or friends. That's perfectly fine. Cash. Do you need to bring cash? Yes, I would bring some cash along. If you want to do any shopping, sometimes if you have a little lunch or something you might have in town, or you're at a bar, you might want to pay cash at the bar. So yes, you're going to want to bring some cash, but you can use your credit card as well. So.
What is Holland's definition of being fully vaccinated?
That I would have to refer you to their website. But basically, you don't need to have the booster. You do, for Pfizer and Moderna, you have to have the 2 shots, and Johnson the 1 shot. And that's fully vaccinated.
Thank you.
Yes?
I don't have a printer at home, so can I come to your office and get this necessary paperwork?
Yeah. You can connect with me, yeah. So if you want to set up an appointment to come in, most definitely. Yeah.
You had indicated that we should sign up online, check in for the cruise. So one of the requirements is your pre-cruise COVID negative test. How can we do that by August 3rd?
Well, actually, just the check-in process itself, they're going to ask you questions like your passport details. It doesn't get into that part yet. That part, so it's just general when you do this initial check-in.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, phones and done.
So yeah, good question. So they do phones. You're going to want to check with your phone provider to see what they allow for, because that's something that you for sure. I mean, like for myself, I'll keep the data off airplane mode, whatever, and I will likely not, have access to my phone other than if you do buy like an internet package where you can then connect that way. So yeah, I'd refer you to your phone provider to check on that.
Yeah, one thing we were reminded of recently is that keep in mind that we are in the middle of nowhere at some points, so even if you have good data service, you still might not have any kind of service. So just be prepared that you might not be in communication with people if you want to, just because we're in Alaska.
Do you have to wear a mask on the ship?
So the mask, yeah, you should bring it along, and I think it's, from what I'm hearing, they say they want you to wear it indoors, but I don't think it's fully enforced. So bring it along, bring masks along. Pardon?
You're walking around on the ship?
The ship I'm talking about, the cruise ship, and it's indoors on the cruise ship, not outside. In Alaska, I don't think it's right now an issue, but on the cruise ship, they're recommending it indoors. But from what I'm understanding, it's kind of becoming a little bit.
They did say most excursions want these.
Yeah, and they recommend it, highly recommend it, so bring them along.
Does it matter what kind of mask?
Nope, they don't, if you're going to Europe or something, they get a little more fussy, but not for Alaska.
So this COVID test that we have to take, what's the validity of it? What if it's false positive?
So it's advised that you can pay for another test if you want, so that's up to
Can
you.
you repeat the question again?
Oh, sorry. She asked, what happens if you get like a false positive COVID test? Can you get another one? Yes, they do. The company will offer you another one. You do have to pay for it. Yep.
I was asked for you, what happens if they
So one question was, what happens if I get COVID and I had all these excursions booked? Make sure you know what the cancel policy is and what they require, because that's something that you would have done independent of me, and so you're just going to want to make sure you have that information handy as far as whom you need to call to potentially cancel.
So if we have COVID, are we just stranded then? Or are you gonna help us get back?
We would never get you stranded. Mandy and I are there to help. So the first point would likely, we might lean into the insurance company a little bit for some extra help, because they'll be able to help us. The tour company is there to help us as well as you'll have a lot of resources to be able to help in what the next steps are. So.
Okay, I did have a question also when I went to register. It says if by chance you were to have an accident or something and had to be shipped back to the United States, what airport do you want to get shipped back to?
Yes. So when Marie was checking in online, one of the questions was, if you were on the ship and something happened and you had to be flown off, what airport do you want to fly back to? When I checked in, I said Appleton, Wisconsin, because potentially it's a meta back thing that's going to take you. So wherever you want to fly, if you want to get home, if it's a medical situation, put that down.
If you do get COVID when they do the testing, what happens? Do I have to come home? Am I like put in quarantine? What's the scoop?
Yeah, Alaska doesn't really have, the CDC says you should quarantine, yes. So, I mean, this is gonna be a personal choice on what, next steps. I would advise that typically you should quarantine, I think it's 5 days, they say, isn't it for a while? And then fly home, and that's where insurance is gonna come into play. And we're gonna be there to help with all of the navigating what is to be done. Did that kind of answer your question, Michelle?
Not able to go on home.
Pardon me?
You're done at that point.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Chris.
So what's the backup if you get COVID?
Oh, boy.
No. That could happen. Potentially on board ship, I'll have a contact there as a guest services person who'll be in charge. I mean, hopefully we wouldn't both get it, but Mandy would still be going on the trip, so we would have each other to lean on.
Hi, we bought insurance, I think, through you, but we have like different insurance companies, so just curious, why do we have similar policies? Did you have to go through 2 different insurance companies, or?
Can we talk about your situation separately, just because I'm not privy to it right this second? So if we can connect on the phone or something tomorrow, or the next day, or next week.
Let's say you get COVID now, and you're still positive, aren't you, for 3 months?
No.
No, not more? You can be.
Yes, you can, 90
You
days.
can show a positive test.
So I went to Mexico and I hosted a group this February and I got COVID. And so this was about 2 weeks before we left. Yeah, 2 weeks before we left, I got COVID. So I got my positive test. I then went to the doctor immediately because you have to have a physician verify that you're sick. So he wrote a letter that said, or I had the physician positive test and then I went back again, I think it was 5 or 10 days later, to get a physician's letter saying that I was recovered. So this is where your doctors really come into play. So that's something that can be presented for check-in. However, the cruise line is saying the medical staff is, the verbiage coverage again was something, it's up to them whether or not you can come, basically. So what I told people who brought this up to me is bring the letter along. For me, for Mexico, it was perfect. It was on my golden ticket because I didn't have to get a COVID test. But bring the letter along. I still suggest that you get a test when we're in Alaska, and hopefully it's negative, and that'll be much easier than dealing with the potential of them denying you.
But if it's positive, but if it is positive, because you're right, you can test longer as positive, but if you're symptom-free and you have proof that you've gone through the stages and when you had it, yes, the cruise line does get the ultimate say about it, but that would be your ticket on board. But Chris is right, you don't have to go through that approval process if you happen to come up with a negative test, so I would still try it.
So if one person in the group tests positive, they're not gonna cancel the whole thing?
No.
Just that person.
Okay, so like, let's see, you got it, Diane, and so Randy, you still could come on. But no, really, you potentially, a lot of you have insurance, and so the insurance does cover your traveling companion, so you would both be covered.
Oh, okay.
So I was saying if you're traveling with someone and you got COVID and the other person could still travel, but potentially they wouldn't want to, your insurance will kick in and cover both of you because it covers your traveling companion. So what if you don't have insurance, I think in a nutshell? Yeah, then we're here to help you, but it's all out of pocket. I mean, things are non-refundable at this point, so it's whatever expenses incurred to fly home and all of that will be coming out of your own pocket.
Christine, I just need to clarify, the question was asked a few ago, but if you test positive on that COVID test that we're gonna take 2 days before we get on the ship, at Alaska, you can get on the ship, is that what you're telling us?
Correct.
It's still part of how we do school.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they haven't changed the rules for this yet, and it's just, yeah.
Just don't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. She wanted me to just reiterate that if you did the COVID test and you had a positive COVID test, yes, the cruise line, you cannot take the cruise. You would have to cancel at that point, and that's where we would be helping you to facilitate whatever help needs to be with flights and hotel stay and so on and so forth. Potentially, yes, you can still travel. She said, I'm sorry, she said, if I test positive, can I get on a plane? Yeah, you can. So.
But they're not gonna let you on the ship.
Right, you will not be able to get on board ship though.
We're open. Canada's
Okay, so in your packet, there is a little COVID testing sheet, and I just want to make sure everybody that's testing on their own understands what kind of test you need, a rapid antigen or rapid PCR. You can set the I encouraged everybody to try to set those tests up ahead of time. Some of them you have to wait a little bit to do online, but just understand when you have to set your test up. So make sure you get the right test, and then I already forgot. So the right test and timing of the test. That's listed on there as well. So when you have to have the test done. Those of you that are testing with Heart of the Valley in Alaska, you're covered. So don't worry about it. You're with us. But those of you that are at home yet getting those tests, Make sure you read that paperwork and understand the kind of test you're getting and when you're getting it.
If you didn't get the insurance and you have some other medical emergency, are you still out of the money? Or is it only if COVID is what takes you down?
I mean, insurance covers all illnesses.
Oh, I'm sorry. She had asked, what happens if somebody becomes ill, a different kind of an illness, and you don't have insurance? Insurance covers all those reasons. So whether it could be for any sort of illness that you can't travel, for you or an immediate family member. So if you don't have insurance, you're really not covered for anything, and it's all, you've lost all the money and it's out of pocket. Can you get insurance yet? You can still get insurance. So if you don't have insurance today and want to buy some, the biggest thing is you have to be healthy. But you can still buy it, so let us know if you want to add it on if you don't have it.
Get it on the 26th before they're positive.
Ask her.
She won't be.
The insurance is determined by your age, the cost of the trip, and duration, so we have to talk about it individually. So just get in touch with us.
This is still easy enough to get on any excursions when you get into port.
Great question, yeah.
You know, I don't want to sign up because maybe I want to just stay in town.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something I would like to do.
So he was asking excursions. If you haven't signed up yet, can I wait? Can I do it on board ship? Most definitely. There might be more limited options, so I encourage you, if there's something you want to do, don't wait. But yes, you definitely can sign up on board ship. Another really quick thing is a lot of us have some of this onboard credit. This just keeps going up. I am going to use mine for laundry service. So some of you that are traveling a couple of weeks, you might want to use your money for laundry. So, just a suggestion.
Did I read somewhere that like the first couple days the laundry is cheaper? And I'm thinking if we went to Denali, that we might want to do it like the first day or two. I think I read. I might be wrong, but it might be something.
Even during the trip. She was saying that maybe during the trip, some of us that are doing the land portion, we might want to do some during the trip as we're going.
Well, no, but to check the cruise line the first day or two to see if they have discounts on the laundry the first day or two.
Yes, yes.
But I read it somewhere, so I'm not 100% sure where I read it, but they said that they have deals on laundry like the first day or two, which would be all the stuff we
So she said she heard that the first day or two on the cruise ship, they sometimes have a discounted laundry service. So that would be something definitely we can check into. Yeah.
Is it still inclusive of drinking on the ship?
Yeah, so everybody has a little bit, because there's some people that signed up later, a little bit different package. So if on your trip, your invoice, you have that, which I know you do. You have it. But if anybody's questions about what's included during the cruise, your invoice receipts would show that, but you also can, if you want to reach out to us, we can let you know as well. Right. Yeah. Not everybody had the same package because we all booked a little bit at different times, so.
I've been checking on an excursion that we wanted to do in Juneau, and the two different companies or whatever that I looked at, one said sold out and one said one spot left. Now, is that what it is right now? I mean, or will there be something else? Okay, so that one.
Yeah, for right now, some of these excursions have very limited amount of people that can go on them, so that's why we're encouraging people to sign up ahead of time. Yeah, and so it's a matter of people canceling. So.
Is it worth us bringing our home tests along to do on the ship for the COVID? Yeah, or is it?
Yeah, okay, so, I don't know if maybe, I'm your friend, right? Now I'm not your travel agent. On the cruise ship, if you test positive on the cruise ship, now granted, if you have a health issue, it's there's nothing we can do. But if you don't feel well and you go to the doctor, they likely might want to do a COVID test on you. And if you test positive on the cruise ship, you potentially, when we arrive into Canada, they require a 10-day quarantine, so however many days we've been on board ship, that remaining amount of time you have to stay in Canada. So, I don't know, I hope we all stay healthy on this ship, on the cruise ship.
The home test kits would be for your own knowledge. They will not be of any use for anything actually on the trip. So if you feel like you're feeling curious and you don't want to go somewhere where somebody finds out what your results are, maybe, but it's not anything that you can use to pass through the process.
And the only time we have to test is before we get on. So after that.
Yeah, the question was, the only time do we have to test is to get on a cruise ship? Yes, that's the only time that it's required.
And recommended.
Quick question that's coming up is the reimbursement. A lot of you guys have been asking about that for the COVID testing. So, yes, that is something that Congress had passed, that your COVID tests can be reimbursed by your health insurance. So, how that happens is you're going to, it's all self-done. So you're going to take the receipt, which is going to be on your credit cards, and then you're going to be able to take a copy of the test that you guys get in Alaska. And that is what you're going to submit to your insurance company for reimbursement. They may have a form that you have to download and fill out. You're going to have to talk to your insurance because they're all different. And if some of them have forms and they want them filled out by the company that's actually providing the test, I don't know if that's going to happen, okay? But if you read the regulations of what it states, basically those two things is what the insurance company can ask you for their consideration of reimbursement. Does that mean it's going to come through? No, but they're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. So if anybody's looking to send in their COVID testing for reimbursement, those are the two items that you need. So your credit card statements, which you'll see coming through for the 90 or 180, and then as well as if you did like the self-e-med and stuff, obviously you take care of that portion of your payment, and then the results from that day is your proof that the test was done.
That's to their own health insurance.
That's to their own health insurance. This has nothing to do with travel insurance, and this is health insurance, not your drug plans. And this is where it gets a little weird, is Congress passed it through health insurance, not drug plans. And that's why pharmacies are struggling with this, because they deal with your drug plan, not your health plan. And this is a health insurance, not travel insurance. Any questions on that? Thank you.
How many people are going? One.
Let's guess.
187 of us, I believe, is what the total came to. So just shy of 200 people.
How many are on the boat?
And we had to, how many are on the
Out of the 187,
How many are landed?
what
How many are?
percentage of the people, no, sorry.
Oh.
On the boat, how many does the boat hold? What percentage are we taking up of the boat?
That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big goal.
There's like 15.
So, she had a question about if you're on any controlled medications, do you need any extra paperwork to travel? The TSA.gov site has information on that, so you can look there. There is a little form, a med form that you can fill out, but I always suggest to bring along maybe in the original packaging. If you have any doctors, prescription stuff, bring all of that along to travel.
Is CBD oil involved? Can they bring that to Canada? Because a lot of people use CBD.
That would be a question we'll write down and follow up.
Use it there and keep it there. That's what I
Oh, CPAP. So some people are asking about CPAP machines. Those are a separate medical device that you can bring along, so it's not counted towards your carry-on stuff. As far as, I know someone had asked me about distilled water, you're gonna have to kind of fend for yourself in Fairbanks or Anchorage when we get there to find a pharmacy or grocery store or something to pick up that extra. I know on Amazon you can buy some little bottles to bring along. I don't know how much those machines take, but you can buy those and then pack it along in your checked bag. But I think that answers, there is information on that TSA.gov website about that as well.
So on that arrive, Canada site, we have to dump her. We're only gonna be in Canada that one day to go home, right? Jeez.
Maybe we just skip Canada.
She was asking about Canada and how long are we in Canada? Probably hours, maybe. So unfortunately, that's an issue. So I think we've covered a lot of the questions. I am going to be emailing this presentation out along with, these questions that we talked about will all be there for you. We're going to follow up now with anybody that wants to stay. I'm going to hand the mic over to Mandy, and we're going to kind of walk through some of these apps with you and walk around if you need help or if you've got more questions. But otherwise, you guys are free to go. Thank you so much for coming today, and I can't wait. Here's to Alaska.
1,900 passenger boat.
Can we do it? One pick. One pick. No shots for me.
You guys gonna hang for a while?
It is a
You're good.
Yeah. We got hamburger around dinner.
Says the person who never wants to go to bed. Not, I only work at 8 o'clock and I work from home. It's not like I have to get up and go too early. It's been a long weekend for graduation. But
Run your hand under this leg.
Don't have a 50th anniversary party Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
But I mean, summer, it's right after 4th of July. We have a lot of no say. You see your brother Tom at all? Right behind you, right behind you. Can you give me his and Jill's pants?
Why do you I was just like, why do you wear Tommy pants? What do you wear to
Let's see it. There's a flower. Had a great time. Were you there? Pretty massive. Really thought it was really nice to have a great light show, great sound, and management really well. It's one of my favorite things of all time. To see us be playing like that again, it's really, really good. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6. But it's been held so far. Lots of company. We were going to fly in on Sunday and it was like Monday at the point. Nah, we're not going to. But
I wish I would have gotten Paper Fest when I was in Portugal with a girlfriend at the
Casino. That was a good time.
celebrating her birthday. But we are going to, we're supposed to be at that golf one in
Oh, yeah, the golf. Yeah, very nice.
we have to on the day we cancel.
Gary, you're today?
Back there, I had a question to ask her because I'm such a big water person. I'm worried about having it.
Yeah. COVID is still rearing its ugly head.
I was just in Milwaukee and I didn't know how bad it was down there.
Really?
It's very, very bad. Because they even have it on TV and here I don't think they do.
I'm not sure if you're all planning to stick around and talk apps, or if you're just waiting here to ride. So I'll start in just a minute or two, just so you know.
Tom's splendid. Like what?
Billy, how you doing today?
Don't forget that clarinet. Seriously, man. When we played Anchorage, no, I want to hear it.
I know, but
Why didn't I do that CBS thing at Paper Fest with you? God darn it. You got to remind me. I know, but still.
And now that I do it with their talk of the town, one guy won't do it, there's someone who comes up.
Yeah. Damn it.
Well, you had a hell of a crowd at that Paper Festival.
Yeah, we played well. The light show was amazing. The light show was almost better than the band. And the sound was great. So,
perfect night.
I walked off stage, I had a piece of ice cream cake. I didn't even want a whiskey. It was like, yeah. Oh, man.
That was a perfect example of a summer night. You think of going to a concert on a summer night.
I know.
What did you think of? Great painting. We're playing a part. Yes.
The point of them is to make your sailing and your check-in and everything go smoother once you're on the trip. So the only thing, when I say not required, the only thing of this that is 100% required is this Arrive Canada. It can be done as an app on your phone, or it can be done logging into a computer, but it'll have to be done within 72 hours of getting on the ship. So you'll be responsible to get to a computer or something. And again, Christine and I will be in the Anchorage Hotel and we can help, but once again, there's 3 of us and many of you, so be patient with us and we'll help you through it. So running through the whole process, Holland America would like you to check in online. That cannot be done on the app. You would have to go to hollandamerica.com. And on the top right, kind of on that screen, it says already booked. Go there, there's a check-in button, and then you just follow the prompts. You'll have to create an account, or if you already have one. There have been some people that have been finding out that somehow Holland America gave them double Mariner numbers, and it has caused troubles with people not being able to check in. If this is happening to you, I did put the phone number on here, I believe, or if not, we'll make sure it's on an email. You want to contact Holland America because they're the only ones that can see their Mariner accounts. So you call them up and say, I'm trying to check in, I think I have a Mariner number, it's not working, and have them look up your name in their system to find out if there's double numbers, and then they can combine it and fix it for you. And then you shouldn't have trouble checking in.
That happened to Mike and I today. We had 2 Mariner numbers and have a booking number because then they can use that booking number to kind of see right.
Yes. Make sure that you understand which Mariner number they're keeping for you, and make sure that Mariner number is attached to your booking number. And then things will run much smoother.
Where do we find that Mariner number?
Well, you would call Holland America. We can find it again. Christine, I given that as one of your homework assignments a while back. You have to call Holland to get it usually, if you don't already have it.
So we wouldn't have gotten any of your...
No, because we don't assign it. Holland, once you're created on a cruise, if they don't have your name or don't think they have your name in their system, they auto-generate something, and we don't necessarily know what it is.
So we have to call Holland
So
America.
call Holland America and say, I need my Mariner number. They'll look up your name, date of birth, something like that.
Will my wife be different? Spouse different?
Yes, every person has their own Mariner number.
Thank you.
Yep. So once you do the check-in online, ahead of time, right now, you're going to be able to answer a lot of the general questions. So you put in your passport information, they'll ask you about your COVID test, or not your test, your vaccination dates, things of that nature, emergency contacts, how you want to pay for things on board. A lot of those kind of somewhat private, confidential answers, that's why we wouldn't able to do it anymore. But once you complete that, there is going to be a section that asks about health assessments. You don't have to finish that, and it won't let you finish that, but you can still continue on to get your boarding pass and your luggage tags. Once we are within 72 hours of boarding the ship, then you'll be able to access that health assessment. And worst case, if it doesn't get done before you get to the port, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get in the line that says you're not completed with check-in, and you're going to finish any questions they have there. So you won't be denied boarding. It's just going to make maybe a slightly longer check-in process. Great question. I'm sure they have internet. I'm not sure if it's free. So we'll have to ask, but they do have a business center. The thing is, if you're trying to print boarding passes or luggage tags, you may have to pay a couple dollars for printing or something. That's why we recommend doing it ahead of time. A lot of cell phone services, you have to call your carrier to find out, but a lot of, because we're in Anchorage, it's still a major city, you might have some sort of data service depending on your plan, but ask your carrier, your cell phone carrier. But at the hotel, you would be able to get something. I don't know off the top of my head if it's included. Christine would know, but remind me, we'll check with her in a minute. So the health assessment will be done right before we get on the ship. So that the Navigator app itself isn't about check-in. It's more about convenience and fun. So on the Navigator app, you can do your dining assignments, you can sign up for excursions. Those are the main things you use it for right now. But once you're on board, you're also going to be able to see what's going on, what time, where, what's the schedule, make changes to your dining if you want. And my favorite thing is you actually don't have to go to that photo gallery and look for 4,000 photos to see the photos they took on board. It'll be on your app. So you can order pictures, you can do stuff like that. So the Navigator app is more for fun and convenience. It's not required. Any other questions on Navigator or Collins? So then Verify. Verify actually works in partnership with Holland America. They are kind of the regulated way of collecting information, and they're the ones that prove that your vaccine card is real, that you aren't faking something, and then they translate that information to Holland. So it really is part of the process of Holland check-in, but if you don't get it done, again, at the port, they'll check your cards, make sure when you're traveling, you have your passport, you have your vaccination cards, of course, you'll have your test results. So if you can't get it done, it can be done at ports. It'll just make check-in a little bit quicker if you can't get it done ahead of time. And again, that morning when we're doing our COVID tests at the hotel, Christine and I will be wandering around helping anyone in any way we can. And then the last one is ArriveCan. ArriveCan is the only one that is absolutely required. So ArriveCan is Canada's requirement of us proving that we're vaccinated. I don't remember if they require the testing or not, but they want to know health assessment, lots of questions. So ArriveCan can be done on the internet, or it can be done on the app. So if you have troubles with the app, and once we're at the hotel again, once in Anchorage, we can help you through that. Anybody who is flying in on the day of, right before the cruise, we may or may not be available, depending on the time that you arrive, because we have the show going on that night. So maybe check it out ahead of time, track somebody down, looking for help with travel dates. But ultimately, if you can get it done ahead of time on the app, it will make things more convenient. All of these will not let you 100% finish anything until 72 hours before, because they want that health assessment. But you can get as far as possible to make sure that you have less to worry about once you're there. And forgive me because I forgot which one. I think it's either Verify or ArriveCan. You won't be able to get very far at all right now because you can't do it until 30 days
Right,
prior.
wanna go get
So if
Mark
you wait
and
till
Doc?
the end of the month, you'll get a little bit further than if you did it today. So. Any questions?
No, I just gotta try it, then I'll have questions.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you work on it, we'll be around to help get questions answered. Give us a call at the office. We'll do what we can. It's much better that you guys all call us now than the people trying to reach us the day before the ship leaves. Well, I thank you guys. If you do have any questions, Yeah, if you are struggling and you'd like some assistance, please give us a call ahead of time. Make an appointment, and we'll do everything we can to help you guys. Because of that timeline that I just spoke of, you can make an appointment, but we'll probably ask that we do it after the 29th or 30th, because then we'll be able to do more. But yes, we'll do whatever we can to help. Please set an appointment though, because we have limited staff and we're not always working in the office. So if you just show up, we might not be able to help at that moment.
Our son, he's gonna do the cruise only. So he's gonna actually go meet on O'Hare. So this newborn stuff, he's not here. Do they know where they're supposed to meet to hook up with this?
Well, they have the same information because he's taking the bus, right?
No.
Oh, he's not. Well, then he just will have to get to the airport
Yeah, he's
and
just
get on his flight.
He's gonna be down strong.
Yeah, and Anne is going to be there. Of course, he might not know who she is, but in general, it might stick out at some point and then getting off. She'll have her whale sign.
Basically looking for the flight and going down to that.
Yes, check in for the flight like you would any other flight and then start looking for whales. For him, because he'll be on the whale bus. Yeah, probably not included. Laundry will be available in multiple places, but you'll certainly have charges. Make sure you ask at the front desk of each hotel. I don't know their policies or their prices or their timeline. Make sure if it's like a service, we might not get it back quick enough before the bus leaves the next day, so be careful. Machines are not always as common anymore, but I'm going to say anything's possible in Alaska because they're maybe a little bit more rustic than we are.
check-in does have to be done on America.com, not on the Navigator App.